Hello there, Padawan learners, Jedi Masters, and lore legends. Welcome to the Bendu Podcast, where we talk all things Star Wars.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Bendu Podcast, where we seek balance in the Force. We got all our bros here tonight with us. We got what's his name? N64 Josh, I think.
Ray's dad.
Ray's dad. We got him back on the podcast.
What's up, everybody? It's still dinner time. Forgive me.
I love it. Just chow away, bro.
We're
So
almost done.
yes. So guys, if you're listening to the podcast, you like Star Wars, jump on our super secret Discord. It's in the description down below, or you can jump into our general gaming Discord, the Mulehorn Gaming Discord. We have all that stuff down below. But tonight's going to be a little different. We're doing a community night where we're just basically going to talk pre-Kenobi and talk all about Kenobi, some things that Kathleen Kennedy said about the Kenobi show, some of the stuff we've seen in Vanity Fair, just the stuff we love about Kenobi, and we want to invite you, the listener or the viewer, to jump in with us and kind of give your 2 cents. We'll give you like 3 or 4 minutes. You can jump in with us and talk about Kenobi with us if that's something you would like to do. So, my dudes, it's been a while. How's everyone been?
Fantastic.
Good.
I'm doing good. There's lots of Lego Star Wars stuff coming out about the Kenobi stuff. I've been building Lego Star Wars.
Let's see those
I've
Lego
been
Star
playing
Wars.
Lego Star Wars.
Let's get that full screen effect here. Look at that.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's like big enough. I've seen videos online, people putting like the it's action figure size. Like you can put action figures in these seats.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's freaking cool, dude.
Yeah, the land speeder is pretty cool. Building the engines and it's meaty. Like you pick it up and it's not flimsy at all.
It's beefy.
That's good.
Yeah.
How many
That's
times
like I
have you
have,
zoomed it around and said, "This is pod racing"?
That I mean, for this is pottery, like they need to do an Ultimate Collector series for Anakin and Sebulba. I think that would be so cool to have like a bigger version, especially Sebulba's engines. Like those things are such like big menacing. The X engines that he has. Like I've watched. Yeah,
how they would do the like cross too, like the.
I mean, I watched episode 1 on Sunday night. I watched Clone Wars last night, or Attack of the Clones last night. I have the list. Like, I'm sure we'll get into this, but Disney Plus released a list of stuff to watch before Friday night, and obviously episode 1, 2, and 3, and 4. But then there's specific episodes of Clone Wars. And I've seen breakdowns. I think it's season 2, episodes 12 through 16, season 4, episodes 15 through 18, and season 5, 14 through 16. I think there's some Hondo stuff in there. There's definitely Satine stuff in there. So like there's potentially some cool stuff I think that they're going to explore in just 6 episodes. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Do we know how long these are going to be? Are they an hour long? Do we think?
I don't know, man. Like,
I
I'm
hope
really curious. I hope
2
they're
hours
an hour
each.
long. Hey,
Mini movies every time.
dude, they said in the Vanity Fair thing that it's basically like little mini movies that all adds up to one big movie. So that's kind of high praise.
It's like the Avengers.
Yeah.
Or like
Well, and
Stranger Things coming out.
Yeah.
New season.
On that day too, yeah. And that'll be all the episodes, right?
Some of those
First
are 2
half.
hours.
Let's say, yeah, those are 2 hours. Like the finale is
not a
like
joke.
2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Stranger Things?
Yes.
The season finale.
Oh wow. I haven't.
That's not even
I've
a series finale.
Wow. Yeah, because it's a split season for Stranger Things.
Yes.
Yeah. I was going to mention we do have a special guest on tonight. That's Obi-Wan Kenobi right here.
Hello there.
Yeah, bro, you look the part so much. I had to throw you up on the
Oh, yeah.
screen there. Yeah. So I want to know, guys, what is some of your favorite moments with Kenobi? Since we're kind of talking pre-Kenobi, what's been the things? I mean, for me, he's my favorite Jedi, and I'll get into it later. But I want to hear what you guys think about just all the previous stuff with Kenobi. What's your favorite parts? Maybe in Clone Wars, or maybe the movies, or any of that.
I like the plug-in coming out of his sleeve when he fought Darth Vader.
Of course, Josh.
It was 1977, Josh. They had to do things differently.
Hey, they could have hit that chord a little better. That's all.
So you're saying you like old Ben?
That's all.
Is that what
That's
you're
all I'm saying. Hey, I want you guys to know I actually prepared for the show. My TV in my living room went out. I went and got a new TV this weekend.
Yeah.
Mounted it while I was super sick, and watched episodes 1 through 3. I endured.
All right.
I endured episode 2. I just how did that movie get me? Like who? The directors.
Half of that movie is okay.
Like
yeah.
I watched it last night. I like it. It's better than I remember it being. Like there's some cringiness in the writing.
Obi-Wan stuff is generally pretty good.
The Obi-Wan stuff is good. Looking at his beard in that episode, like in that movie, it's off. I don't know if Ewan McGregor just couldn't grow a great beard, or if it was it makeup. Like I don't know. It just doesn't look that great. Especially, maybe it didn't shoot well against all that blue screen. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Could have been.
Because they shot in front of so much blue screen.
Yeah.
But I mean, his beard looks a lot better now.
That's what's tough about those movies is there's so few practical effects. Everything's CG. And I kept trying to dial my TV in. I hate newer TVs where they put that faster refresh rate and all that crap on there. Mm-hmm. And this one, it was like, they call it true motion, I guess. So like but every time I would change the picture to try to see what looked best, it would turn that back on. And I didn't realize. And so like, I'm like, it still looks fake, but I already turned it off. So I finally got it all dialed in. But yeah, that's the one I slept through. I slept through most of 2. I think I woke up when, I mean, it's so corny when Anakin is like, he's pinned down and they chop his lightsaber in half, like on that conveyor belt. And you're just
the conveyor belt scene is bad in general. Like Natalie Portman even filming it. There's a behind the scenes thing. Yes. She's like, don't make me look stupid, George. And she's just a bunch of blue elements that she's juggling back and forth. Like you and I had talked earlier this weekend, Josh, and you had mentioned the CG, and like the CG in episode 1, especially, like just on Tatooine, it looks so off and out of place. Like Yoda looks better, and I've been seeing comparisons with like She-Hulk trailer coming out, and people were complaining about that, and then they're like, we made this 20 years ago with Yoda. How is it this bad? Like obviously, people were putting a whole lot more money into Star Wars than a She-Hulk trailer, and who knows how far along that is in production, but it's coming out soon. But still, like, I don't know, it has its flaws, I guess, when you look at it, and it's all aged 20 plus years. So, and that's I still can't I still can't watch the Neo Agent Smith fight because it just looks so bad. Was that
you're spoiled,
Reloaded?
Crawler? You're just spoiled, man.
Well, but then you put it in 4K now, right? Because I watched Star Wars in 4K for the first time,
dude. It looks good in 4K.
Yeah, but everything that's fake looks more fake. That's the problem with when you get like the crisper the screens get or the picture gets, the more you start to go, oh, I can.
Which part are you talking about? Because like for me, like the episode 3, like the space battle at the start looks really good.
That stuff looks great. Don't get me wrong, but I'm talking like when they're in the sand and attacking the clones.
Oh yeah.
And like when she falls from the ship and it's like, is that even real sand, or they just like what is that?
You playing my kid's toy box over here in sandbox? What is
By far,
I think the space battle probably looks so good because everything is VFX.
Mm-hmm.
Like
yes,
and when you have to mix in human actors talking to a tennis ball on a stick for Yoda or something like that, or Jar Jar Binks is in the scene, like it throws it off.
Yep.
To spin this around though, to make it a little more happy, by far my favorite scene with Obi-Wan is the Darth Maul fight. When he does the block from the front and then to the back, I rewound that probably 6 times, even on Saturday when I watched it. I was just like
that choreography is really good. Same with the Mustafar fight where they're spinning, going through the door frame. Like that's always, it's really stupid that they spin it right in front of each other like 5-6 times, but it's cool to watch.
They're just testing each other. That's all.
The one beef I have with them staying within the like, we know what happens in episode 4, right? So like, I know there's going to be cool stories, but there's not a lot. It's not like there's a lot riding on this. You know what I mean? Like we see in the trailers where it's like, in this episode, is he going to survive? It's like, well, yes, he's,
and hopefully the tone of the show itself isn't like is he going to survive? It's what's it going to do to him almost.
Well, this is an interesting comment by Servant in our chat here. He's saying he watched every Star Wars and showed up to this point. It's just me, or does Kenobi feel like the beginning of something huge for Star Wars, like Iron Man 1 for the MCU? I kind of feel that way. I feel like this might be a show that can really branch us out to like Ahsoka, Thrawn,
or it's a close.
Cal Kestis. Yeah, I mean,
it's a close of a period, maybe an open of a new one. Not necessarily like Iron Man, where he starts the MCU, almost more like Endgame.
Yeah,
right. Mandalorian seems more like Iron Man, like they're both in metal, and
that too.
Like Rey's mom is in there somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, one's made out of iron, one's made out of Beskar Man. Iron Man, Beskar Man. What do you guys think? Is it got a good ring to it? Like he takes his helmet off. I'm Beskar Man.
It works.
Give me a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with what Nate said though. Like it is, because you look at the Vanity Fair stuff and they're focusing on the stuff we're getting this year with the Andor series and Ahsoka and more Mando. And Kenobi is this limited. It's being touted as this limited run. It's only these 6 episodes. That's it for that. But then you have the start. I think Andor got confirmed to be at least 2 seasons. Is it only going to be 2 seasons? But it's also a huge run. It's the largest live action run that they've had. It's going to be 12 episodes for at least season 1. I think, unfortunately, they confirmed that K2SO isn't going to be in season 1, so we'll get that in season 2. But it's going to be kind of a building of who Andor is. So it's going to be kind of a character building to who that character is in Rogue One, because he kind of just comes about and is this person that's established to do whatever is necessary for the rebellion. And you kind of get to learn how he grew up and what caused him to. He grew up in the Empire era, so he's doing what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And I know they said for season 2 of that, it's going to get closer to Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's going to get, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's only 2 seasons. Hopefully his meeting of K2 is in there.
Maybe it's
just
a
fun
scene or
spy thing.
Yeah. I mean, if it's kind of like the way Rogue One felt, if it's that same feel, I think Andor's going to do really well, especially with the potential of having more Vader in there. And kind of circling back a little bit, like to the Vanity Fair stuff. I saw this one interview from some, I think it was in Germany, a Germany TV station. And they're like, hey, so we don't want spoilers, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to ask you, can you give me 3 words that explain Vader in Kenobi? And Hayden Christensen was like, vengeful, unstoppable, and I can't remember the other word, but I was just like, dude, this sounds like the freaking Vader.
Asthmatic.
Yeah. Dude, it just sounds like the Vader that we've all been wanting to see on the big screen since we saw him
at the end of Rogue One.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're going to get to see a Vader that is just a bad mofo and he doesn't care what it takes. I mean, we even see it in the trailer where the third sister's like, you can't escape him, Obi-Wan. Like, he's just that freaking driven. from what it seems like. And so I mean, I hope we actually get quite a bit of Vader in this.
Yeah. And I really want to go back and I know the fight on the Death Star isn't really a fight. It's a conversation with lightsabers, but there's, I think, a lot to dive into that conversation. And I want to go rewatch that and kind of absorb what they're talking, because there is talk of their last encounter.
Yeah.
And it's not in reference to the fight on Mustafar. So it's going to be something else. And there's even a Lego set coming out that's Darth Vader versus Obi-Wan. So that kind of gives away something.
Oof. Dude, I still think it'd be mega cool if, like, maybe we see it where, like, when Vader appears, finally Obi-Wan pulls out the saber, and the rest of the show he doesn't have it out because he's trying to hide. But when he sees Vader, he pulls it out, and then you get some kind of crazy duel. I mean, we know there's going to be other Jedi in the show too, so it's like, I wonder if you're going to see some Jedi kind of get like offed.
I wonder if we'll see it more with the Inquisitors.
Yeah,
to set those up for the live action only audience.
Yeah.
The background on that, most of them were Jedi that were turned.
Maybe we'll see them get turned.
Yeah, I want to see the Grand Inquisitor, like a flashback to him as a Temple Guard. Like, if we can see some Temple Guard pikes in live action, that would be cool.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite lightsabers. Is I wish I had that special. It was a limited release at Disney or whatever, but that was hard to get. But they had a Temple Guard pike, a foldable pike that could come out.
Do you guys think we'll see Grogu?
I don't know. I don't know how he would fit in the story.
The time period would be tough because it's too far, I think, after the temple. Like, that's, I mean, it's possible because we have no idea where he was between the temple and, like, you know, Vader attacking the temple and
how many years take place between episode 2 and 3? How long are the Clone Wars? Is it like 2 years?
Isn't it like 6 seasons?
I think I saw the
Clone
official
Wars
timeline.
They're all out of order. That's the problem with that.
Dude, yes. Oh my gosh. Hold on, I'm gonna find the official timeline. I know that Star Wars has it on their website.
Because if that's the case, then because Grogu was born the same year as Anakin, and so Anakin would be.
And he is on Tatooine, so he's got to get there somewhere.
He's 19. He's 19.
We don't know that he's on Tatooine right there.
No, but maybe he was hiding out that whole time on Tatooine. Like, that's a possibility. Or maybe he's brought on Tatooine at the end of Kenobi.
Maybe we see Mace.
As a zombie.
It doesn't give the years. It doesn't give the years on the timeline. But Kenobi is right after, so it goes Clone Wars, Bad Batch, Solo, Kenobi, Rebels, Rogue One.
Okay. So, but like Anakin's like 19 years old in episode 2, so probably about 21, 22 in 3, and then this is another 10 years after that. So Grogu would be about 30, and he's 50 in
the time between episode 3 and when we see him in Mando.
Yeah,
because we don't know where he is then.
Yeah.
Before that,
we don't know where he is from. Yeah, 3 all the way to Mando.
There's a lot of time in between there. So
19 plus
years.
Yeah, because the original trilogy takes place over like 3 years, I think, and then
it's 4 years after,
and then 4 or 5 years after Jedi.
Yeah,
it's a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Tatooine's a good place. Everybody likes to hide there, so you never know. I mean,
the whole galaxy revolves around Tatooine.
Boba Fett was there, you know, like, geez.
Will we see any links to the sequel trilogy?
I don't know.
Rey's mom.
Dude, okay. I'm trying to figure out, because I don't think I can show this and y'all can't hear it. But I'm just going to put the link in the chat for you guys to watch it. There was this really good TikTok video. Because when you said Rey's mom, it made me think about this. The guy talks about all of the all the episodes that are recommended on Disney Plus for everyone that's going to, get in prep for Kenobi. And one of the things that they talk about is a lot of scenes that they have with Satine. And so a lot of people are like, hey, does this mean we're going to see like a love child between them? Or like, what are we going to see here? You know?
The
So
path we should have had for Ray's mom.
I mean, it
Wow,
would have been,
chicken, wow, wow.
would have been
Still
cool.
possible.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because Ray's dad is through the Palpatine clone.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
still
true.
possible.
Yeah, I mean that would make sense why Obi-Wan would reach out to her then. You
Should
know,
be a Kenobi and a Palpatine.
that would be nuts.
She's a Skywalker. Didn't you watch the movie?
She identifies as Skywalker.
I mean, I'll fall back to my standby of what I want to see in this 6 episodes. Is I want to see some Qui-Gon Jinn coming in and
Yes.
teaching Obi-Wan how to be a Force ghost.
Yeah, I think that would.
Teaching everybody how to be a Force ghost, right?
I mean, it's a natural progression.
Anakin just picks it up really quick.
Will we see Yoda?
Ooh,
Don't call it out like that, Crawler.
The flaw in the fact that
Yeah, he like.
I mean, Yoda picked it up pretty quick too.
yeah. I mean,
well,
it took him one.
Yoda went to
Wheels.
Dagobah to learn, and then probably learned even more when he was because isn't that where he went to commune?
Wow.
No, originally went to the
that
planet
was-
of the Wheels
Okay.
in Clone Wars,
And that was
then,
all added in Clone Wars.
Yeah, and then
In
later
the
on,
original
it was on
trilogy, he
Dagobah.
learned it real quick.
Yeah. I mean,
Bro,
He had to have learned it after he struck down Obi-Wan in New Hope, and he was like, "Where'd he go?" When he's all confused looking at his robes, he's like, "I gotta learn this one. This is how do you do that?"
interesting.
Yeah, very. I gotta learn
Or
this
maybe do we
trick.
hear Yoda at all?
I think it would be cool if we have Yoda communing to him some way, because we see that in Rebels how he
Qui-Gon.
communes both. I think it'd be cool if he does both, because you see Yoda commune with Ezra in Rebels, and he's clearly still alive, and he's like showing up like almost like Luke does, you know, when he
Because
travels to Crate.
it was more than a Force ghost in that
Yeah.
in that temple, right? Or in that.
Yeah.
Well, it
I
wouldn't
mean,
be
Are we
Yoda.
even talking
He's
about
still
this?
alive.
talking
Are we
about
t-
what?
Are we talking about? Wait, are we talking about episode 7 or 8 right now?
Maybe.
What are we talking about?
Are you saying the
Not
sequels
really.
are off limits here, Josh?
Be careful what you wish for.
I know.
Henry's mom is off limits.
No, I need
Yeah.
Race Mom. If you want to ruin Star Wars for anybody, just while you're watching it with them, just remind them that Miss Piggy is also the same voice actor that does Yoda, and they will literally be like, "No," and I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
"Yeah," and Fozzie Bear, you know. So if they're old
I mean,
enough to
Frank
know
Oz.
the Muppets,
Frank Oz was talented. Let's give him credit.
I'm not saying he's not, but you can definitely hear Yoda falling in love with Kermit. Like it happened.
Oh my gosh, dude. So Kenobi here. I'm okay. I'm trying to keep us on track here. Talk about love childs with Oz, and it's like,
Hey, you never know. Kermit and Yoda.
Okay, so why I love Obi-Wan? I think
I just need to see Yoda do like Kermit now.
oh, look at that log, and that log got a child. Oh man, yeah, I'm excited though, man. There's a lot to be excited about with Kenobi, and there's so many possibilities, dude. I mean, do you think we can see Maul? Do you think Maul's anywhere in this at all?
I don't want to take away from like that interaction
Rebels.
in Rebels is so perfect. I almost wouldn't want to take away from what it is.
Yeah.
They got to fix Solo somehow.
Now,
They need
we
to-
hear
Oh, okay.
a rumor of him, but I don't think there's any way to have Maul know about Kenobi at all. Because I think in Rebels, he has no idea where Kenobi is. He knows he's alive, but that's it.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, Kenobi goes off planet.
He does. Yeah, it does. In the previews, like here,
And that one city is seems pretty ripe for, organized crime.
Yeah, because I do think there is quite a few like spots in the trailer where he's definitely not on.
That's not Tatooine.
That's not Tatooine.
Like this city, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's clearly Tatooine, but there's a few spots in the trailer that he's fighting, and you're like, that's not Tatooine unless they do the whole Boba Fett thing, and it's some random city that we never knew about for a while or never seen.
And I think it was confirmed that he goes off planet.
Yeah. Like I'm waiting for that one fight scene where we can pause it and we can see it there.
Yeah, he has a blaster in hand, and
and he's like hand-to-hand combat. Like this city right here. Yeah, that definitely does not look like Tatooine. Like, I mean, I guess it could be. It could be where those cyborg guys were.
Too many high rises,
and not at that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that Forlom?
It looked like it, dude. Look at it. They said they're going to bring in a lot of bounty hunters in this. So, I mean, it'd be kind of cool if we maybe saw like Boba Fett or something.
Boba's too young.
He's with Cad Bane at this point, isn't he?
Or a Singh, I think.
Dengar, what's his name?
Dengar and him are kind of buddies.
Wars, so.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely not Tatooine right there.
That's where Luke was going to pick up power converters.
Tashi Station? Yeah. I think the rest is like Tatooine, basically. Like that's Tatooine. That's an interesting looking droid.
I mean, so there's at least 3 planets we see. What's the name of the planet where the Inquisitor's base is? From Jedi Fallen Order?
I can't remember what it was called in Jedi Fallen Order. I'd have to look it up again. Because it was like the first time it's ever been introduced to us.
Do we not see it in the comics?
No, I think the first time we ever see that facility is in Jedi Fallen Order.
Because where is he training?
Planet Nerd is the fortress of the
Planet
Inquisitors.
Nerd. That's what we live on when we talk about Star Wars all the time.
Ner, just N-U-R.
Ner. Yeah. Yeah, in the comics, they never show where they're at. They just show them showing up to Mon Calamari when they go in to take on that whole remnant of the rebels.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I thought we saw some training scenes with them.
That might have been on Coruscant.
Okay.
So I'd have to.
I'm thinking there's going to be a handful of flashbacks.
Yeah. I mean, there should be. There should be at least
flashbacks.
Yeah.
And if they can do some cool deepfake stuff and have like a Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Padawan Master kind of conversation, that would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
So didn't you say that before the podcast, you were talking about that crawler about deepfakes in Solo and kind of what Kathleen Kennedy was saying about Kenobi?
Kathleen Kennedy sometimes just needs to keep her mouth shut, I think. It's like
sometimes.
Whoa, shots fired.
Well, so let me see if I can't find the art. So she pretty much said that the recasting of a classic character was the downfall for why Solo wasn't successful. I think we all kind of agreed, and I think a lot of people have come out vocally online against that sentiment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think directorial problems and yes. Ron Howard came in and I think salvaged what was a steaming pile of just stuff that was there
Bantha
doo-doo. and turned it into something. I think the story of the story that they wove around it, it's kind of the coulda, woulda, shoulda. I some of my favorite Legends stories are the Han Solo trilogy, and it's Kessel is not the Kessel from the expanded universe. Kessel, the spice mines in Kessel are dark, lightless places because if the spice reacts to light, it's no good. And so Kessel in that movie was not accurate to like how it was explained. And Han and Chewie met on Kessel, and that's how they kind of came to be. There's a lot of now Hutta and the moons and stuff around that system in those books, and the whole origin of how Han worked for the Hutts and then kind of came to the last like chapter of that trilogy of books ends with him walking into Mos Eisley Cantina, and so it leads right into that story with the original trilogy. And so it was ripe for adaptation, but it's hard because it's 3 books trying to turn that into a movie or something that would live up. Movies can never live up to what books do. And so, I mean, I guess they were kind of right to adapt it differently, but there was so many different stories going on with the train heist and the people that needed the food and the money or whatever it was, the bounty hunter. I forget her name. That was kind of a little bit forgettable there at the end. But then like the really cool stuff that they could have.
The lady from Winter Soldier or whatever.
Yeah,
Is that
was
what-
her. That was her.
Yeah.
Emphasis.
Like they could have leaned into so much more in Solo 2. Doesn't have to be Solo 2, but like lean into Crimson Dawn. Make that a movie, because Kira and Crimson Dawn and all that came about from Maul being with having the Darksaber and Mandalore and all that kind of stuff. Like there's so much cool stuff that led to what that was and why that was so important and cool at the end of that movie. And then it's just left hanging. Like that is such a cool story, I think, that they could tell.
Yeah.
And they still could. They could move into, Disney Plus shows, and we may even see little threads of that in Kenobi because of the time frame. We may not see a full thing, but like just a little thread that they could drop and then take it in a different direction.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot they could do there. I mean, I'm always to the point where I always thought that Solo was really underrated. I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they could do more with it, especially since it's pre-Kenobi.
Plus, the range troopers are awesome.
Yeah, I mean that was really cool, man. I just think they could do a lot more with it, kind of like Servant was saying earlier about Kira. Like there's so much they can do with that. I mean, I know they're working it into the Darth Vader comics, but like I would rather, like, there's one thing I wish and I hope they don't do with this show that they've done in all other Star Wars shows, where they just show you just enough and then just leave everything else for filler for the comics and books. Like I actually kind of hope that they give us as much as we can handle in the show and don't rely on like the other types of media to fill in the plot holes or fill in the holes of the story or fill in the spots that we want more info. Like
which was the biggest downfall to Rise, or not Rise. What was the first one of the new ones?
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Like there, 3 books to explain all that crap, and the front crawl doesn't even do a good job explaining that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why there's a resistance and the Republic is something different, and they don't even do a good job explaining what system is destroyed. It's not Coruscant that's destroyed by Starkiller Base. It's some different set of planets that they moved the New Republic
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, because there was a lot of confusion there because people thought Coruscant was gone, and they were like, "What?" Like, yeah.
I mean, one good thing, I don't think that the guy that played Han Solo was all that bad. He had big shoes to fill for that, but I think Donald Glover deserves a movie out of his performance for Lando, because that was like one of the standout performances of that movie.
And let him have heavy creative, input.
Freedom with it, yeah.
Dude, the moment in that film when they were like, when he's like, "Everything you heard about me is true." I was like, dude, that's
the
so
swagger
Lando.
that he had, yeah, was great.
That's so Lando, dude. It's like perfect. I want to ask this for you guys, but how we've talked a lot about what we want from the show and kind of a few episodes before and kind of here tonight and kind of what we hope to see. But I want to know, how do you think this is going to end? Like, I think that's the big thing is how are they going to end this? Like this 6-episode show.
They're going to gray him eventually. Through the 6 episodes, he's going to gray up.
He's going to glow up. He's going to glow.
No, he's got to get gray. He's got to turn into Alec Guinness, buddy.
He's going to glow. Alec. He's a nice Sir Alec.
Yeah.
It's going to be the very start of Rogue One.
You think so? It'll go that far?
I'm just trying to say something intelligent.
That's next year with Andor's, or in 2 years or whatever with Andor.
That's really far. I mean, that's like Luke grew up over 6 episodes there.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's like 9 years.
Maybe it starts where Solo starts. Okay, I'm just trying
Solo.
here.
Just stick to Rey's mom.
I think
Yes,
it
I
depends on
will.
the story that they're telling outside of him guarding Luke.
Yeah, you think so?
I mean, it's going to depend on what the Inquisitors do and how close it is to Fallen Order too.
Yeah.
In time period.
I mean, do you think it's going to tie in with the second game a little bit,
I have heard
or
rumors
the
that
first
it will.
game, or
I mean,
I've heard
'cause aren't
rumors
there
that they-
some Inquisitors we don't see in the game in the show, or already confirmed in the show?
I mean, we don't.
So I'm looking at IMDb right now. Kumail Nanjiani is in this season or
that's
in the
right.
show, and he has no character name next to
I
him.
forgot about that.
I have no idea who he's going to play. And I mean, it's also pretty much a guarantee that Inquisitor Reva is going to die, right? Because she's
That's kind of what I was getting to. Yeah.
We see the 10th brother, which is the double-lated.
fifth brother.
No, I mean, like I'm just talking in comics.
Oh, okay.
So that might be a possibility that he shows up in the show. We know the 9th sister is in Jedi Fallen Order.
Fallen Order.
The 8th brother is in Rebels. That's the one that falls off and dies. The 7th sister that Maul kills in Rebels. So we know that one's out. The 6th brother is the only one I can think of because they might have to tie that into Ahsoka somehow, because that's who Ahsoka fought to get her crystals for her white lightsabers. So there might be a tie-in in there somewhere, maybe with the 6th brother. But everything else, I mean, maybe the 2nd sister. I don't know.
I mean, Kumail Nanjiani is listed as all 6 episodes.
I'm sure everybody is at this point.
There it does dip down. Some people are 4. Some like young Luke is only listed in 2 episodes.
I mean, it could be the 6th brother. I mean, he was a former Jedi, so it would make sense. So
If this show were to play, I know we kind of talked about it at the beginning and we were kind of like, but if this what if this show kind of followed the similar storyline to like the Bourne movies, where like, you know, Jason Bourne was like the badass and then all those other assassins came after him, and it's just like, do you guys want to see more action or drama from this? I guess is kind of what I'm asking, more or less. Not necessarily that like, oh, Kenobi, like, is he going to make it out of this one? Tune in next week. Same Obi time, same Obi channel, you know, but like more like I really don't want to see, like, as much as I love Mando, it was like, hey, give us this blue milk and kill this monster and we'll give you what you need, like every episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to see more from this show. As far as like maybe it is like he's really hunted and having to hide, and how does he get out of this? And that would be that we know he does, but like, is it like, do we get to see him be the ultimate badass that he is, or is it like, and that's what I want from it. I don't want to see him like we see him shooting blasters and stuff, and I'm like,
That's not Obi-Wan though, because
Like,
he kills blasters.
but he did against Grievous, right? Like,
He did,
I mean,
yeah.
like if he's up against the wall, he will. But but I hope that we get to see him be a complete badass. And I hope there's like a looming terror of Vader, like on his tail quite a bit, with the Inquisitors, and that like that's kind of the direction I would like it to see. If it's a lot of drama and arguments with Uncle Owen and crap like that, like no,
the shade though from Uncle Owen is
yeah. I think
I mean I'm rewatching the trailer. I'm on IMDb and it's playing here, and like the sizzle reel of the trailer makes it look like there is going to be a fair amount of different fights in all these different spots. And I did see a brief shot of Kamal Nanjiani, and he looked like he was wearing Jedi robes. So that could be a flashback to, if he is an Inquisitor, to when he was a Jedi. But it seems to be a decent amount of hand-to-hand fighting. I haven't seen any blue lightsaber yet, but I mean,
yeah,
it could be cool.
This might be a really bad comparison, but I kind of want to see it be like drama with the looming aspect of fighting and violence behind it, almost like a Reservoir Dogs, if that makes sense. If you ever saw that movie, where like there's really good storytelling and like tension and drama, and then there's some really good action sequences, but not every part of the show is action sequences, if that makes sense. It's like the action sequences make sense because it's like a pinnacle of the drama that's happening on the screen. Because I really want to see Obi-Wan, like you guys were saying, like on the run. Like he is running from Vader for his life. And Vader has all these little underling Inquisitors now that are basically doing his dirty work. And he has to figure out a way of, how do I protect Luke and not give him away that he's here and alive, and also not die myself? Like, I think for that purpose alone, I think it's going to be focused more on drama, but we're going to have a lot of really good action like speckled in there in the show.
I mean, Liam Neeson's coming back, right? So all I want to see is the Inquisitors steal Luke and Obi-Wan call him and say, "I will find you and I will kill you." Like that's all I need. Just have Qui-Gon teach him the elements of Taken through Taken 3, and I'm golden. That's all. That's all I want.
Yeah. Do you think 6 episodes is too short?
I mean, it has the potential to be
per episode. I'm good.
I mean, if they're hour long runs, then that's as long as the original trilogy, pretty much altogether.
Yeah,
almost.
See, Nate's asking. He's asking the hard questions. What kid is Liam Neeson going to lose in Star Wars now? It's gonna be Luke. I'm telling you. I will find you and I will force choke you,
and you will die. Yeah. I don't know, man. This is going to be, I'm really excited. I hope there's some kind of tie-ins with Andor or Ahsoka. I really hope the way they end it is basically just expanding the next phase of Star Wars, Like, we already know all the stuff that happens in the OG trilogy and the sequels and stuff like that. Like, give us some nuggets of stuff that's coming.
Yeah, I feel like just with the time period, and it's hard to do that, though. It's too early for Rebels. I guess we don't know where Ahsoka is, so maybe we see something. It's possible we see her. But it doesn't seem to connect. I feel like they will have a hard time connecting into the Mando universe, essentially.
Yeah.
Because of that time period. I wouldn't mind seeing it. It's its own thing. It doesn't need... I will say that's one thing with Mandalorian is there's just so many little connections that just spurred out to other shows that we don't necessarily let it be connected. If anything, connect to potential Maul, Kira stuff, even just slight mention in the background or whispers.
Yeah.
But let it be Obi-Wan. Let it just fill in that gap of what he's doing between the two trilogies.
Yeah, well, and I wonder, like when we see Luke, if it's not later on in the show.
It's possible.
Yeah,
that could be the end.
They the trailer makes it it kind of gives us all the idea that he sees him early on, but like that could be something we don't see until much later. Like he may have cleared everybody out and he's talking to Uncle Owen about getting him trained up, you know?
Yeah. I hope that whole lead up is to maybe like the start of the show is basically Luke getting rescued by Obi-Wan from maybe like the Sand People or something like that. Like that would be really sweet to like Luke's in trouble, Obi-Wan rescues him, and Luke's kind of like, "Who are you?" He's like, "Oh, I'm Ben Kenobi," you know. And
it seems like from the original, he's never met Ben Kenobi. He just knows the stories of old Ben, or like that he's a hermit from his uncle.
So maybe he just uses the Force from the shadows and helps Luke out, you know, like.
I mean, that's how it did in the Dark Horse comics, is like he basically was finding ways to do it without giving himself away.
Well, and going back to Josh's question about action and stuff, I looked up what episodes of Mando season 1 Deborah Chow did, and she did episode 3 and episode 7. 3 has 3 had the fight. What was that one? That was 7 was kind of the shootout at the OK Corral a little bit with Moff Gideon, and then episode 3 had the escape with all the Mandalorians coming out of the out of hiding to kind of help Mando escape. Yeah. So I mean, so there's some decent action that she has directed. So hopefully that translates.
I mean, coming out the gate, I think they're going to come out hot, like some big time action coming out the gate. I think that's how they're going to do it. Star Wars is almost always like a cold open the way they do their stuff from a story production standpoint. I mean, you think about every show is almost every movie is a cold open where it's just you dive right into the action and then you get the promise of the story later on.
I think I don't know the official story behind it. I don't know if he had to take a fine from the Writers Guild or whatever it was. George Lucas like got fined or had to pay money to not run opening credits in his movie,
right?
And go from the opening crawl straight into action.
Interesting,
because every other, like, Star Wars has kind of been the only one that's been able to get away with that, and I think it's because he set the precedent with it, and then either paid his fine or got special permission for it, and it's been that way ever since.
Yeah, he got kicked out of he got kicked out of the unions or something. I'll look it up real quick, but like,
oh, just for doing that with the open crawl and then
straight. I remember that was like one of the first movies to do that, where it's not rolling credits and then you start the movie, putting the credits at the end.
Yeah, even think of all
George Lucas had to leave the Directors Guild because he would not allow The Empire Strikes Back to have no opening credits.
Dang. I mean, that's kind of cool, honestly. Like, he changed the film industry right there.
Yeah, and he was fined.
He was fined $250,000.
Yeah,
which back then. Whew.
I mean, look at him now. He's probably like, whatever. That's chump change, bro.
Yeah, he's Scrooge McDuck.
I make that an interest in a week. Yeah. Well, sweet guys. Any other closing thoughts? I think we've kind of hyped ourselves up for the show.
Question: how long before he says hello there?
Ooh.
Or I have a bad feeling about this.
Yes. And how many times per episode for each of those?
I'm going to give it within the first 10 minutes. He's going to do a hello there.
Is it his first words?
Probably. I think he'll save Luke. I think the opening is going to be him saving Luke from like the Sand People or maybe some like mercenaries or somebody like that, where he's in town or something like that, or maybe just mixed up in the wrong crowd. And then as he helps him, he'll be like, hello there, little one, or something like that, you know.
I think he'll help him without even speaking to him.
Maybe. Say, do we cut to planet right away, or are we not in space? Like, are we?
I think it'll be Inquisitors coming in first. Like that scene where you see the pods flying out is probably the first scene we're going to see. Like that seems like a very Star Wars opening scene. So I guess we'll see.
What about I mean, we're all talking about Luke, but like, do you think he makes his way over to Alderaan and we see 3PO and R2 and young Leia and
Bill?
Yeah.
Bill Organa. I mean, maybe he goes and checks on Leia.
I mean,
Maybe.
Bail is still a member of the Imperial Senate because the Imperial Senate's not dissolved until hours before Episode 4.
Yeah. Dang. That would be kind of cool, honestly, if maybe we get a sneak peek of Leia or something like that. And
I mean, they showed Luke, but why not? Why not show Leia also? Like it's
he's
right?
aware of her. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what if he has to figure out how to protect both the kids from both of them at the same time? Or, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like it'll be very interesting to see how.
Because
now I'm even more excited, honestly.
Yeah, because Vader doesn't know he has children.
No, I mean he doesn't know that Luke's there. He doesn't even find out about Leia until much later. Because even Obi-Wan says, I think it's in Empire, or no, it's Return of the Jedi. He said, your sister remains safely anonymous. And then he's like, Leia. He's like, your insides serve you well. So it's. I think that would be kind of cool if he's maybe like doing a little gut check and checking on her or something like that,
But because of that very thing, there's a chance we don't see anything because she's technically safely hidden, right? Because it wasn't until that showdown in the Emperor's chamber that he's like, your sister. Right?
Yeah. So you have a twin sister.
Yeah.
And the way he says it too, he's like, sister. Well, right on. I think we're gonna have to do like maybe an episode sooner than usual just to do a post Kenobi show to get our thoughts.
Yeah, because we get 2 episodes on Friday.
Yeah, so I think we'll have to do that. Well, guys, thanks for watching us. If you're listening on Spotify, you can actually watch this whole episode on Spotify as well. So if you do want to watch us and not just listen to us, you can do that. And for all you cool cats that are watching us out on the interwebs, all of us streaming this live, I appreciate you guys. And remember,
the Force will be with you always.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you, Master.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with us all.